being from the city, you know, you went to HD, stayed relatively close when you went to college, played at Virginia Tech. When you got the chance, become a free agent, opportunity, sign with the Washington Redskins after being in San Francisco. What was that like, you know, playing for the hometown?
Man, playing for the hometown, it's a lot to come with that, man. You really putting the city on your back every day, But I kind of always felt that, whether I was at Virginia Tech, when I was at HD, I just always felt like I was playing for a bigger purpose. But man, to really come home, it was a time where, my family was going through some things with my grandmother. She wasn't, doing the best at the time. And honestly and truly, Coach Harbaugh was the one that encouraged me to do it. He was my current coach with the 49ers. I had just broke my leg that year, had a season-ending injury, and he was like, "Man, I'm gonna be honest, man. He was the first one there when I woke up from surgery out there and everything. Best coach I ever played for. But he told me he was like, "Man, if I had the opportunity to play for my hometown, I would. Like that's a rare opportunity. Not many people get to do that." So that kind of, and he set up my whole contract and everything. He was like, "Man, you could go out there, play for 2 years, and I'm gonna get you right back out here." But he was like, "If you got a chance to go home, man, because and it was everything he said it was going to be, man. Just walking in the crowd. I mean, seeing the crowd, seeing teachers that used to teach me, seeing people I used to go to the grocery store and seeing people from the neighborhood, just seeing everybody in the stands actually having a chance to see me play. It was big, man, because when I was in high school, everybody couldn't make it to those games. Um, them games used to be late night games
Yeah,
back then. It was really DC.
yeah, yeah,
So it wasn't always safe to be at all those games and everything. So for them to be able to see me to do it on a professional platform, it meant everything, man. It was great for my family. It was great for me, and honestly and truly, it was great for the city. That was the first time we went to the playoffs in 10 years at the time. So to bring that winning culture back to DC, it meant a lot, man. It was everything, man. I loved it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
you mentioned the playoffs. Y'all making it to the playoffs, first time in 10 years. What was that run like? I know that was with a rookie RG3, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. His magical rookie year.
yeah.
What was that like just going through the season?
And that season, it reminded me so much of my life at the time because it didn't start off as good. It started off rough. We started off 3-6, and we faced a lot of injuries, had to overcome a lot of injuries. And towards the end of the year, we finally were healthy. I was finally getting healthy, like I said, because I played that whole season with a screw in my foot. So I couldn't even flex my ankle and push off or anything. I played, I was going off one leg basically. To be able to do what I did and had to be the lead receiver that year, it was just big, man. It was just constantly overcoming obstacles, constantly coming together and fighting as a team. And man, it was big, man. That run where everything just started clicking. Trent was finally healthy. London got healthy. Like I said, Pierre got healthy. I started feeling a lot better. And Santana, was being Santana. He still had juice in the tank. And man, Alfred Morris was running crazy.
Yeah,
So I hate the way it ended for RG, but it was like, man, we didn't even have to do that for real. I wish he would have just chilled and healed the right way. So, because you
yeah,
saw every time that year we put Kirk Cousins in the game, he
yeah.
was making something happen.
That's true.
So I definitely feel like we could have went further, but can't cry over spilled milk. But it was an amazing run, man. And it was like I said, every time we faced adversity, we start overcoming.
Yeah.
And that's when you got a winning program. When you passing them tests you used to fail,
Hmm.
that's when you got something special. I just wish we could have kept it together.
That's
That's
true.
the business of the NFL.
I want to take it back to Virginia Tech. Had a lot of guys in that receiver room who, went to the next level.
Yeah,
Talk about the competition between the guys. What was it like in college competing with them day in and day out?
man, that was the most fun I probably had, man. Just that constant competition with those guys. And it goes even back to prep school because a lot of us was at prep school. I had to go to Fort Union after I left HD Woodson. Most of those guys went to Hargrave. and that was a big prep school battle back in the day. Hokie versus Hargrave, and I think I had like 200 yards on them at Hargrave, and those same DBs end up coming to VTech. Those same receivers end up coming to VTech. But yeah, man, even Eddie Royal
Yeah, Eddie,
was one of
yeah,
them, man. You know, I'm a real city dude.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I was like 3 or 4 blocks away from RFK, so I didn't even know Northern Virginia existed until I got to Virginia Tech. And I was like, "So you from up there?" He was like,
yeah,
"Yeah, I'm about 45 minutes away from y'all."
yeah.
I was like, "How come y'all never come play us? Was y'all scared or something?" But no, it was just fun, man. They say iron sharpens iron, and that was the constant thing down there. Virginia Tech, we was up there in that DBU conversation at the time, with D Hall just leaving, and we had guys before that, but all the guys there, we had Brandon Fly was there at the time, Jimmy Williams was there at the time, Marcho Harris was there, Vinny Fuller, one of the Fuller brothers, all four of them made it to the
Yeah.
league, man. It was just constant competition all throughout the depth roster, and it just really got you prepared for the NFL because that's what the NFL is. It's less than 1% of people that make it, and you playing against the best of the best every week. So, to go through that in a college atmosphere where you got so many guys, I think 8 of my teammates that year got drafted. I want to say 11 of them like made a roster and signed a free agent contract. And within the 4 years I was there, I think we had like 30 some people in the NFL. And it ain't Alabama, no, but that's a lot. That's a lot of
Yeah,
success for a program. But like I said, man, that competition was a daily thing, man, and it was in everything. Who gonna get the best grades? Who gonna be the first one in the meeting room? Who gonna be, the first one to finish the sprints? Who gonna catch the most passes? Who gonna not drop a pass in practice? It was everything. Who gonna have the heaviest bench? Who gonna,
yeah,
who gonna have the heaviest squat? We competed in everything. We even competed against the basketball team. I mean, we used to take 5 people on the football team at that time and play the starting five on the basketball team and give them that work. Like
yeah,
we was hooping. So it was just a lot. It was a lot of talent. I wish they would have had social media as big as it was back then. But I'm telling my age, they had just came out with Facebook. That lets you know how old I am. So social media definitely wasn't what it is now. But if they would have had those documentaries and that tape of what we were doing back then, it was something special, man. We had some special guys. Like Michael Vick had just got drafted. Bruce Smith was always there. Like I said, Jimmy Williams, man, he was the best corner I had to face. I tell people that they always say he was the best corner I ever played against. Jimmy Williams was a safety, a 220-pound safety that went from safety to corner. Usually they do the opposite. Usually corners go to safety when they can't run. They try and steal some extra years like Charles Woodson and all them did when they was playing. But he was just a big physical guy. Went to Bethel, same school as Allen
yeah,
Iverson, 6'3", 220, run the 4.37. Like just a freak of nature, jumping like had like a 37-inch vert. Like he was just strongest man. He was a dog. He ended up being the Falcons' first pick that year. He came out. He just couldn't put the weed down. Like he was so
yeah,
good. He was so good that he was in the program because he kept failing his drug test. He still was the Falcons' first pick the year he came out. He got put out, suspended, sat out for a whole year, came back with the 49ers when Coach Singletary was coaching me with the 49ers. 250, gained all this weight.
yeah,
They still gave him a chance. He was 250 out there, still locking people up, still athletic. He made it every cut all the way from OTAs to the last cut before training camp and failed the drug test again.
yeah,
I was like, bro, we done did all this work and you still
yeah,
can't put the weed down.
yeah.
But man, that just go back to that competition, man. There was so many guys. Cam Chancellor, you know what I'm saying? He came to VTech as a quarterback. And we turned him into safety. The coach told him, you're not going to play behind Tyrod Taylor. So,
Yeah.
and you see what Cam Chancellor ended up doing. You know what I'm saying? Tyrod Taylor, he's been in the league for forever now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having a great career. Backup quarterbacks get the best career ever.
Yes,
Collect
sir.
them checks. Don't lose them the game. But no, I love Ty, man. He a freakish athlete as well, man.
Mhm.
We had so many dogs, man. Dwayne Brown, first round tackle out of Richmond, man. Went to Highland Springs, played a long time with the Texans, Seahawks. Man, we had some guys, man. I know I'm missing a lot. Like even our receivers, like you just asked me, man. All we did was run the ball at Virginia Tech, but none of our running backs got drafted, but all our receivers got drafted.
That's
And that
crazy.
just goes to show how much talent we had. Like
That's crazy.
we used to have to cuss them out, like, man, throw us the ball. Like, come on, what we doing?
Yeah.
David Clowney got drafted, Justin Harper got drafted, Eddie Royal got drafted, and I got drafted.
Hmm.
And go back to the competition. It was always friendly competition. I love them boys to this day. Still talk to all of them. But it was one of them things where it was like, man, we was the best of the best. We competing, but guess what? When we all finished, my numbers was better than all y'all's. I was fourth all time in VTech history.
Okay.
I think Eddie was like sixth or seventh, and I don't even know if Justin and David was on the list. Like they was further down, but I was like, yeah, I won.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just that competition, but it was in everything. Even when we got drafted, it was all right. Who gonna get a starting job? Who gonna be a starter, man?
Top three toughest corners you faced in college.
In college, man, all of them might be VTech corners. Say nah. I would say Jimmy Williams for sure was number one. Aquib Talib, he was at Kansas. He was good. He was a real good college cornerback. He was great in the league. He played for Tampa for
Hmm.
years. They first round pick. He was a good DB. And who would be number three? Number three in college. I mean, it might have to go back to V Tech, man, because Brandon Flowers was really good, man. Like I said, he was one of those at Hargrave, and he ended up playing for the Chiefs and starting with them. So yeah, I would have to go Brandon Flowers as well.
And segue to the league. Top three toughest corners you faced off in the league.
Oh man, Revis Island ain't no joke, man. And it ain't even because he the most athletic. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? He was just smart and unorthodox.
Yeah.
Like most people jam me on your chest, and you ready. I mean, you see it, man. You watch for all our receivers, swipe the hand, swipe down. Man, he wasn't even jamming you up top. He was getting the top of your thigh or the bottom of your thigh right above your knee.
Man,
So that way you never get in full stride.
that's crazy.
So, he messing up the timing.
Yeah.
He looking inside, so he see the quarterback three step. He jumping there. Like he was just so smart and unorthodox. So I would definitely say Revis. Peanut Tillman. He was
Mm.
a dog, man. Strong, unorthodox. Like I said, not the most athletic, but just smart and use this technique perfectly for what they were doing on defense.
Mm.
Uh, who else? I would have to say, nah, I can't do that. I'm gonna give my credit to Richard, man. Richard Sherman did his thing, man. He was perfect for what the Seahawks was doing at the time.
Yeah.
So he fit that. He played that zone perfectly.
Mm.
I would have to say him, man, because he was a dog. But I don't really want to give it to him because Charles Woodson was my one of my idols. He was
Hmm.
one of the reasons I wore number two. Him and Dion, and I just saw him later on in his career,
Yeah.
and he wasn't the same. Like what I'm saying, but he
Yeah.
was still he. I would have to say Richard Sherman, man.
What are your thoughts on players transferring in and out? And I think NIL, of course, has I think they coincide. They play a big part together.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on a player leaves, plays for 3 or 4 schools in his college career? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, it's such a broad thing, man, because if that's what the player needs, then I'm for it. But that's rarely the case where a player needs to go to that many different schools to finally be seen or get the opportunity. Um, honestly, talking about the transfer portal, like we were one of the first schools that could have happened to because a lot of people don't remember, but when I was at Virginia Tech, that's when the massacre happened. And so, like I said, because it was a tragedy, they had gave us the option to transfer to any school we wanted without penalty, without sitting out a year or losing a year. But all of us chose to stay. But I'm for it. Like I said, if that's what they need, that ain't always what they need though. Some of them just like from this generation where they spoiled, they expect everything, and oh, this coach don't like me just because you're not playing me. But like I said, I'm a competitor, so it's like, whereas the coach not playing you because he don't like you, or is he not
Mhm.
playing you because you not putting him in a situation where he has to put you on the field. And that's where I'm from. I'm cut from that cloth where we had to work for everything we got, and you got to leave a coach in a position where you can't deny me. Like, you have to put me on this field. I'm a difference maker every time I step on this field. I'm not doing nothing to hurt the team. I'm a plus. I'm a bonus. I'm a difference maker. I'm gonna make a play. I'm a team player. I'm gonna do whatever need to be done to win this game. So therefore, you got to put me on this field. And a lot of these kids not like that. A lot of them not thinking like that. A lot of them don't even understand competition. Like, understand, like, man, if this what I want to do, this my dream, and this really what I want to make come true, then man, I gotta, man, you don't know what this guy been through. You don't know what he's willing to give up. You don't know what he's willing to sacrifice. You don't know what he got going on at home. And these kids, and it's partly our fault as parents because all the new parents, like, we went through hard times as children, so we didn't want our kids to go through hard times. And so a lot of them, like, privileged, a lot of them haven't really been through anything, and that's the only adversity they face in their life is, oh, not being a starter or not playing as much as they think they should play. So I mean, in that sense, I hate it. In that sense, I hate it. But you do have guys like that maybe got injured at one place, and when he got injured, they recruited two more people. So now he number 5 on the depth chart. You probably never gonna play there. So yeah, go find a home. Go find somebody that loves you, because that's all recruiting in college is. Is, man, pick the girl that wants you. Don't pick the girl that you want. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, then I'm all for it when it comes to things like that, or like I said, what happened at Virginia Tech, tragedies and things like that, where you just can't see yourself at this university anymore. With those type of things, I'm all for it. But and as far as the NIL, man, I'm all for the kids getting
Mhm.
paid. Like, I wish we would have got paid, but I'm glad we were part of the generation that paved the way for them to get paid, because we was getting in trouble for signing a jersey and getting $200, $300, or getting a free tattoo because we gave a jersey. So I love the fact that these kids getting paid now, and they taking their power back as players now.
The NFL draft right around the corner. I wanted to ask you, being a former NFL wide receiver, Travis Hunter, do you think is it possible for him to play both wide receiver and cornerback full time like he did at Colorado?
I honestly believe so, man. That kid's so talented, and I mean, what the main thing is, he hasn't had a lot of injuries. So to be that talented, to be as healthy as he is, and to have that type of stamina that he has, I mean, it's like somebody show you who they are, believe him. So I believe it, because honestly and truly, they changed a lot of the rules in the NFL. So, and I'm not going to say it's flag football now, but the wide receivers are protected a lot more than they were back in my day. When I was coming out, I mean, they try and lift 300 pounds on the bench getting ready for Chantel and them, and they changed the game, man. I'm all for all the changes because I want people to be safe. I want people to, they think in longevity, so you don't want people with all those concussions and neck injuries. You want people to be able to retire like I did and still be able to play with their kids and stuff when they get older. So we heard a lot of horror stories about, the generation before us and not being able to get out of bed and things like that. So I'm happy for the rule changes, but with all the rule changes, I think that's going to allow players to play a lot longer, to face less injuries, and just to be successful and be the athletes that God put them here to be. So I think Travis Hunter is going to be very successful. The only thing I'm kind of hesitant on is the weight aspect of it. I just hope he put on some type of weight, just for that. Because, if you're going to play defense, you're going to have to tackle, and these running backs not playing. They
Mhm.
ain't changed the rule for that. They just, made it safer for receivers to play the game now. So, if you're going to play defense, I hope you put on some weight just to take that brunt of making those type of tackles and being that type of impact player on defense.
Being from DC, sneaker culture
Hmm.
is big. What's your top 5 favorite sneakers?
Top five favorite sneakers. My number one might be the Ben Fives. Ben Fives. I love them, and I rarely see people in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like rarely see people in them. People that gave me crazy offers trying to buy mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, them Ben Fives, I love them. They just comfortable, go with anything. Um, I love the 11s, like the Space Jams, the Concords. I love them as well. Uh, what else? I love SBs, man. I'm a big SB guy, so I love all types of SBs. I can't tell you which my favorite SB is because it just depends on what I got on that day.
Yeah.
But I love all types of SBs. Um, what else? Yeezy was with Nike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a movement. Number five. Uh, number five. What else? I'm trying to think of everything I got in my closet. Man, it's hard not to go with a Jordan 1, but right now, recently, I feel like the three's been taking over.
Threes. Yeah.
So yeah, probably them. Yeah, them threes been taking over. So I'm gonna go with them.